We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, faithful acolytes, we're going to do something different. As a chili head, and I imagine all chili heads or even people who eat semi-spicy stuff regularly get this also, I'm often asked if I've tried this sauce or that pepper or those chips or whatever food item. I have a few playlists to try to answer some of these questions, but for the past few years, I've also gotten the question of, have you seen this? Usually in reference to a video posted somewhere online, such as those we will see in this series, a Chilehead Reacts. For this video, I will be reacting to content from Critical, Charlie penguinz0. For those not familiar, Charles is a highly prolific and popular creator who I would characterize as operating in the commentator space. He's also one of the longer running creators, and because of that, he has a lot of content. His main channel seems largely focused on gaming up till about 2018, when commentating content started to become increasingly prevalent. And it was August 31st of that year that he posted his first video about his battles with spicy food. He's since done more videos on that subject, 16 I believe, as of this filming, something like that. Because that number is so extensive, we didn't cover all of them in this video, which means, yes, we will be revisiting him again in the future. We started with the awesome chronological playlist from Awesome Bacon. A link to that and all the full-length videos will be in the description below. And we tried to do as many as we could, starting from that first video in August of 2018. Okay, roll the first clip.
I am a pussy-dicked bitch when it comes to spicy food. I can't handle it in any capacity at all. Even the most mild of spice fucks my ass real good.
Charlie tends to be very colorful in his verbiage, which is definitely part of his appeal, along with, among other things, the dulcet, silky tones of his voice.
But still, I want to reach that level where I don't feel pain in my mouth because of spicy food.
That level does not exist. Whether you ask me, who's been doing this for decades, or Scoville or Trier, who are at the extreme end of things and seem to just live for the burn, even with higher tolerance, there is no such thing as never feeling pain. Which goes back to what TRPV1 receptors are meant to do, which is to detect actual physical heat. They can become somewhat desensitized, so you can drink beverages hotter, for instance. But at a certain point, higher temperatures will cause cellular damage, so those receptors not working would be bad.
But I'm working on it. Now let me make this clear, I have not been invited on Hot Ones, but I'm still preparing just on the slim chance I do ever get invited. I don't want to go on there and look like a little bitch. So I've been on a very intense workout regimen with training my spicy food tolerance. I'm doing 3 sets of spicy peppers with only 30 seconds of rest for my crying breaks in between, and then I'm right back into the next set of taking a bite of the spicy pepper.
This is pretty funny, actually. The idea of training your TRPV1 receptors like you would train certain muscle tissues. So you can't introduce micro tears to receptors which are related to the nervous system as you would with muscle tissue. So it's a funny idea, but this won't actually working quite that way. What he specifically describes here, the actual regimen, is a no-go, of course, but the concept of building tolerance is a sound one. There are a lot of videos floating around out there on the subject. I can't speak to those per se, but who knows, maybe I'll even make one myself someday.
I'm going to take you through my workout regimen here, so we're just going to go down the level, up the ladder rather. We're starting with sweet peppers, 0 Scoville. I can handle these bitches with the best of them. I can eat those all day and not feel a thing.
This appears to be a red bell pepper, what he's calling a sweet pepper. I wouldn't use that phrasing, sweet pepper, probably. For sweet peppers, I think more cherry peppers. Not cherry bomb peppers, but cherry peppers.
Then we move on to banana peppers, the hottest variation. These motherfuckers can get all the way up to 500 Scoville. For those of you not familiar with the Scoville scale, that's pretty mild. That's about like as hot as a fart, basically. But these bad boys I've had to really work up to. Jeez, oh yeah.
Here we have banana peppers. I love these. No salad is complete without them.
I'm already feeling that. 500 Scoville has never tasted so hot. I got these at Publix. They're unnamed, undiscovered. They're just called Chili Hotness. These could be 2 million Scoville for all I know. This may be a Carolina Reaper.
Definitely not a Reaper. This looks like either a jalapeno or maybe a Fresno. It could also be one of the smaller bell peppers that come in that shape. See a lot of those in the summer in 3 main colors, yellow, red, and orange. And they are delicious. I don't know what he actually has here though.
Oh, it's really tasty. Expert opinion, this is a sweet pepper. It's a time bomb. Oh, Jesus.
Charlie seems to like water a lot. He drinks it fairly steady in his videos and streams. It won't be of much use to him here though.
Oh God, I need milk. I forgot I don't have any milk. Yogurt. Oh, fuck.
Ah, the mad dash for milk, but he doesn't have any. I don't generally keep any on hand either, actually. So instead he goes for yogurt. Now, depending on which type of yogurt you have, this can actually work quite well for soothing.
Moving on up. Moving on up is this one was just called Long Hotness. It's like a little dagger of pure capsaicin. This is probably what they used to use in medieval times to settle disputes. Just jab each other with these.
Is this a long hot? Italian long hot maybe? I love the flavor of those. I don't know what the pepper in this video is though that he's got. I'm not great at identifying pods by sight in the wild, so to speak. Scoville does more of that. This is also a problem with this kind of video. If you want to create a benchmark, you need to have accurate data, including, in this case, the name of the actual peppers.
I figured it out. It's the seeds. Science just always told me the seeds are the hottest part, and I completely agree. Charlie
here is wrong, by the way, and this is a misconception a lot of people seem to have. The seeds are not the carriers of heat for peppers, and indeed this would make almost no sense given the function of seeds in any plant. Rather, with peppers, the capsaicin resides in the membrane or placenta, which is that white part the seeds are attached to. So it's related, and that's probably where the misconception comes from, but it's not the seeds, it's the actual lighter part there. Again, there's a lot of videos out on this. Smoke and Egg Curry, in particular, did a really fabulous one for Epicurious. You can check that out. Johnny Scoville also points this out a lot in his videos of the pods, his pod videos. And Scoville is very, very deliberate with showing it to the camera. So if you're interested in looking into that a little bit more closely, those would be good sources.
I don't know which one of these is a jalapeno, and then the other one's a poblano. I don't know if a poblano. I don't know if a poblano is supposed to be hot or not.
A jalapeno and a poblano. Well, the poblano is not going to give him too much of a rise. The jalapeno, though, so those can range pretty wildly. Usually I find them more like candy. Actually, everything I've seen in this video, I would probably find like candy. But when I get my tolerance good and revved, habaneros will actually be like candy too. Anyways, I'll go through a whole lot of jalapenos in a week because I like the flavor, but sometimes you'll get the raw pods with a bit of a surprise on the punch side of things. Again, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's only a jalapeno, but sometimes it's more than expected, sometimes a lot more than expected, but it's like shishitos. It just happens here and there, for me anyway.
I want to get on in there. This is where Satan was born. Oh. I'll bite into this way. It's a little bit more tolerable than this. That right there. Oh, that would fucking kill a Loch Ness monster.
He's really getting into his own head on this. He also may have wanted to spend a bit more time with research before diving into this particular pond, unless this is all just some kind of gag for content.
Oh, this is definitely a jalapeno. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and bite on into, well, there's not a whole lot there. I'll bite into this part. I'll be a real man here. That's about like 10,000 Scoville per postule. So we're looking at nothing shy of 3 trillion Scoville on this bite. I'm getting a close-up of myself. Oh my
god. Charlie's burning here. It's hard to gauge, but I think this might be amplified by how much trepidation and anxiety he's approaching this with. That's a big part, I think, of eating crazy hot stuff. Not that he is here, but just in general. And that's knowing what to expect so you don't panic during a full heat surge.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it feels like taking a tequila shot that's on fire and full of urine. Oh my god.
Yeah, he definitely does not have great spice tolerance.
Let's check out this trailer and see if they improved anything. In case they haven't, I've got a plate of peppers here, and I will eat one for every bad moment in the trailer. I'm going to be honest, I only know the name of one of these. This is known as a jalapeno. It's a very, very spicy pepper, said to be over 1 million Scoville on a bad day.
His hair changed. I guess we're on a new video now? Okay. So the premise for his video here is he's got a plate of peppers, maybe some wax peppers, maybe a poblano, maybe penguinz0 possibly. Let's go back and actually look. Yeah, so we've got some darker ones here. We've got some lighter yellow ones. It's one thing he does not do a great job of in these videos is naming these out, and I really wish he would. I mean, it's a bit hard to tell what they actually are. It's kind of like he just went to the store and just grabbed a bunch of random peppers, which is... Anyway, so he definitely has a jalapeno, but that pepper generally is not really going to go anywhere unless Smokin' Ed Curry gets a hold of it and then crossbreeds it with one of his blast furnace peppers, I suppose. That seems to be the hottest of what he has here, though.
We have no choice.
Oh, it's such a bad costume. He looks like a school shooter.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
No! I'm wrong.
God, jalapenos are hot.
Allow me to clarify. In sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between...
He's become a redditor.
Agent Stone. The doctor thinks you're basic.
Oh, that was the worst line I've heard in a long time.
I'm sorry, Major. What was...
Well, those jalapenos are taking a heavy, heavy toll on our hero. Here's the thing with those. Jalapenos are wonderful. Great flavor and a good introduction to heat. Ultimately, they're like training wheels, though. And if you can't handle those, you're ultimately better leaving off the hotter ones until you can. So everybody has got their own. We all have it. We've all got it. We all have our own thing for building tolerance. But from there, my suggestion would not be to immediately jump up to a ghosty or scorpion or even habanero if you're tolerant of jalapenos. But to progress more incrementally, so you would go next from a jalapeno to at least not master maybe, but at least become tolerant to a serrano or fresno if you can find one. And from there to Scotch bonnet if you could find those. And then to the habanero. Of course, that's assuming you like fresh pods. I'm not so much a fan of those, so I generally use hot sauces. And with hot sauces, most makers are generally pretty good at gauging how hot they'll be to normies, which is itself kind of funny because chili heads are the more engaged audience for hot sauces, especially the much hotter ones. But I think as chili heads, we've all just kind of come to accept that manufacturers' ratings will generally just not apply to us.
Put your child in that bag?
No. I mean,
I owe so many bites, but I'm really short on breath.
body's brand, no hand.
That doesn't look horrible.
How long was this between? 6 months? Alright, so he's out of breath here and nearly down for the count. I mean, the trailer for the first Sonic movie was okay. And the movie wasn't that bad. Nowhere near as bad as the sequel. I mean, this video is pretty silly. But it's kind of a fun idea spinning on the whole take a shot when this happens thing. In this case, he might have preferred to actually take the booze shots.
Jalapenos beat the shit out of my ass, and I realize that this is extremely pussyish, so I've decided to once again get back to training and combat this pussiness before it spreads to other things, like who knows, soon maybe gluten will be spicy for me. So luckily, voiceover Pete invited me onto his show, Hot Seat with Pete, and it's like Hot Ones, you know, spicy sauces on really cold, shitty wings. And it was fun, I enjoyed it, and I did pretty well, all things considered, so I'm going to show you some of that.
Okay, changing videos again. Okay, changing videos again. What was this? Okay. So about 8 months after the previous one, or over a year after the first one. Hot Seat with Pete is an interview show, I guess. I've never heard of it, never seen it other than what appears here.
Hey everybody, welcome to the next series of Hot Seat with Pete, and today's guest, Cr1tikal, also known as
Charlie.
The setup here seems rather familiar. So is this like a Hot Ones rep?
Let's go ahead and jump in with our first one here. We'll go on the easy side.
Sounds great. Yeehaw. You might not know this, Pete, but before coming out here, I used the restroom to hype myself up in the mirror, like a high schooler asking his prom date out.
This is a bro moment, you know.
This is a big moment for me.
This is easy.
I'm sure it's
It
easy.
really is. You're okay.
Okay, the first sauce is Quaker's Steak and Lube something. They definitely are not following the format of Hot Ones by saying, or at least showing the camera, what the actual sauce is. I wish they would. They don't need to guess at the SHU or anything, but just the name would be great.
I'm ready.
All right. This is not bad.
That's what everyone said about that one, but
No, yeah.
that one's a lot easier than the first one, for sure.
This one looks like Quaker Steak Ranch, maybe? I haven't had any of the Quaker Steak stuff, as they tend to do wing sauces, and those really haven't been too high on my agenda, but Quaker Steak has been around for a really long time.
It's fine. You're okay.
I have no doubt.
You see the way it pours right out? You're good. Go slow, dude. That's not bad, actually.
That's what they all say. It's pretty bad for me.
Quaker Steak something else. It's hard to judge without having any idea what the actual sauces are. If this is the normal format of this Hot Seat show, it's pretty bad. At least from my perspective as a chili head. Either rip Hot Ones all the way, or just do a straightforward interview show. The interview here, by the way, is mostly okay, though, so far.
Catch a minute now, I've really fallen behind, Pete. I'm real behind, Pete. This is rough.
I hate spicy food.
I hate it. I'm embarrassed by my lack of spice tolerance.
Okay, something from Hotter Than Hell, I guess. I have done one of the sauces. You can check out the review for that by going to the blog. A link to that will be down there in the description below. The central problem with this show is that the wings and the sauces feel like a stunt or a gimmick, like some kind of joke from the producers that the audience is never let onto.
We're fine, dude.
Feeling good. I thought it was gonna be
It poured right out. This was like molasses. This is like water. But I'm sure it's gonna taste just like water.
I'm fine.
Okay.
That's the easiest one yet.
It really is.
Again, no idea what this sauce is, but I could read the label of the previous sauce or the one before, which was barbecue. This is the Hotter Than Hell one. Yeah, okay. So something barbecue from Quaker Steak for the previous sauce. This one is Hotter Than Hell something or other.
I'll put a healthy amount on there. I'm really in it to win it now, Pete. I've got confidence. You see that? This is a confident quarterback now.
En fuego. I won't tell you what that means, but something about death.
Not bad, Pete. The chicken's worse than the sauce. Oh my god, Pete.
Iguana en fuego. I think I've done some of iguana sauces, not this one, however. The last sauce on the tables is Elijah's. They're only doing 7, I guess. And I think I remember them saying somewhere in there that the last one was a ghost pepper. The last sauce was a ghost pepper. Also, en fuego means on fire. So it had nothing to do with death. Well, I mean, I guess unless you're maybe in the fire or something. Anyway, so it means on fire, and there's a translation lesson for the day, and also it will probably describe what goes on with Charlie quite well.
Alright, I'm taking it real slow. I'll follow your lead this time.
You don't mind?
I won't be offended. How's it feel on the old gullet?
Okay.
Which was worse?
Oh, this one.
That's good then.
Yep.
You're not wrong. That's easy. That's super easy.
Elijah's Ghost. I'm aware of Elijah's, but I've never had any of their sauces because they, like certain other makers, insist on using onions in their stuff, and those are a total no-go because they make me violently ill. I imagine this is going to put the hurt on our boy quite a bit. Also, what is this 1 bite per wing? God damn, get in there.
It's been so much fun to get on there, to be with other...
I'm sorry. I'm a weak man in your dojo of masculinity. Oh my god.
A bit of a delay for Charlie to feel the Elijahs, but he got there in the end, burning away crisply, merrily into the night.
As most of you know by now, spicy food and hot sauce just doesn't work on me. Trying to kill me with hot sauce would be like trying to drown Aquaman. Capsaicin just doesn't have an effect on me. I'm impervious to it.
you know, I wonder here if Charlie, right here in this part, right here in this video, I wonder if he's the one responsible for that whole TikTok trend. You know, the one, the no reaction or whatever it is. We should do a video on that. Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll do that in one of the upcoming videos. Maybe we'll look at some of the TikToks or something. Spice test, I think they call it. I don't know, something like that. I forget the name of the stupid thing, but his commentary here sounds awfully familiar. When is this from? 2020? Okay, so a year after the last one. All right.
Dr. Benodium, what the fuck is his name? Dr. Benolium?
Burnorium?
Benolium.
Bouncing around here a lot. What happened to the last one? Oh, gotcha. Okay. I guess the last one was other people trying sauces, and we're just doing stuff about Charlie. So we used to do a lot of what's going on here when we threw parties. You know, we talked to people about hot sauce and spicy food and all that kind of thing, and how we had thought we had sort of reached our limit of how hot we could actually make something. We couldn't find things hotter than what we were already doing, right? So anyway, somebody inevitably would want to prove they had sugar in their nuts or whatever, and we'd wind up having these drunk challenges with sauces that we kept on hand just for that. We didn't use them ourselves, but we kept them just for that occasion. So fun times. Anyway, for this, Dr. Bernorium's Psycho Serum is an extract. I've never tried it, but I've seen it on Amazon. Actually, can we pull that up? Okay, this is a 6.4 million SHU extract. SHU is Scoville heat unit, and that's how they measure the heat of various things. I don't need to try this particular product to know. It's going to be immediately hot and taste completely awful.
I don't know how much to use. Like,
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
how much do you think?
Give me a spoon or something. I'm not gonna destroy us, dude.
Here. What do you mean by destroy? You just wash it off.
No, Psycho Serum can never be washed off.
This is meant to be used by the drop, by the single drop. Here we see what amounts to several drops. The big dude, Matt is wearing gloves, wisely.
Should've listened to him.
And here Matt has jettisoned his wisdom out the window and is adding more serum. That would be quite unnecessary. It'll already taste horrible. Adding more is just concentrated horrible.
Oh my god, Alright, wait, let's talk.
Daunting. Yeah, I can't say I would ever want to do this. And if I did decide to do it for a stunt video or content or whatever, I absolutely work up to it well prior to this, and 100% for sure would be doing a bunch of prep well before I got so much as even got the camera set up. And probably have stuff standing by for the aftermath.
We're gonna cheers it? Are we swallowing? No fucking way.
Stop toasting food. Stop toasting food. Now pasta? What is wrong with the younger generation? This is a gnarly habit. Graceless and it's crude. What is the point?
Oh god, this actually smells like the most painful thing of my life.
Noodles are cold.
Ew. Oh. I'm not swallowing. No. It's only been 10 seconds. Go, man.
Quick, gather around the trash can.
As expected, this proved rather immediately unpleasant.
After roughly 40 minutes, it was finally completely clear. Well, close to completely clear, and mouth returned to normal state.
It looked a lot like the boys were going to go through it for a while. The longest I've been in agony like this was via cap cramping in internal cap cramping. And it was maybe 15 or so minutes. But they were hard ass minutes. And it definitely felt like a lot longer because you are in such agony. Imagine that your guts are a sheet of paper and somebody is just crumpling it up into a smaller and smaller ball. Like that. And, or like tinfoil, something like that. Just very, very non-enjoyable, and there are often waves of nausea that will come with that, which are really excruciatingly unpleasant, especially if you're not prone to nausea, as I historically have not been. So I take major lengths to avoid that, and as I detest it. It's not an enjoyable sensation for me at all. But sometimes I'll get taken by surprise if my tolerance is not where I think it is, or the sauce exceeds it, or, I mean, there's a variety of factors, but generally it's something along those lines. So I also developed an entire procedure for when that happens. I won't go into the whole thing now, but there is one facet of it it's one of the better things you can do. It's a fairly simple thing. Here it is. So since your body has gone into a mode of wanting to urgently shed heat, that's where you're at, right? You're pouring sweat, and that's what the nausea is because it's got to get rid of whatever it is that is causing this, basically the alarm bells that there's something that is physically too hot in your body, even though it's not that. It's just the way the receptors work. So the one thing you can do is to help it get cool, your body, or cold even, and that is to start deliberately affecting the largest organ of your body, which is the surface area, the skin, and to get that as cool as you possibly can. So it's obviously easier during the colder winter months because you could just shed clothing. But if you have a backup for this and you get creative, there's also a number of ways that you can do this during the warmer months also. That is by far the most effective thing I've found for reducing that actual time. You're still going to suffer, but it will be dramatically lessened. Alright, that's this video. We got off the chronology a little bit, and we'll get to more of the playlist in a future video. In fact, the next one we do on Charlie will be all 3 of the spicy tier list videos he's done. And then at some point after that, we'll probably do a 3rd video covering whatever's left. Knowing how fast Charles puts up content, whatever is left could be a lot more content than what it is now. And hopefully Awesome Bacon keeps the awesome playlist awesomely updated, which would be awesome. Then again, given how much our subject here suffers, perhaps he won't be that motivated to bang out a whole bunch more. As the saying goes, we shall see what we shall see. But for now, go forth in peace to serve the flame.